Welcome to step 5, where we're going to look at the sales costs of selling a scruffy property. The scruffy property we're looking at the moment is this one in Liverpool. The rules apply to all of these. Basically, we just follow a step-by-step process. In step 1, we put in a property description. In step 2, we looked at its rental potential. In step 3, we looked at the price history of the property. In step 4, we went through the repairs required. And now in step 5, we're going to look at the sales costs. Now then, this is more for the benefit of people who buy a property and then sell it on later, or indeed yourself who may be looking to sell your property at the moment. So if we look at this at the moment, it has some fixed sales costs, say with us, which is 0, Purple Bricks, which is 1,378, an estate agent 3,480, and an auction £4,080. Now, how do we come to these figures? Well, before we get to that stage, the first thing is, if we just go through it step by step, and the first one is, does the property require an energy performance certificate? Well, if you've got one and you know about it, well, you leave that box here as it is. If you're not sure, then all you do is click on this button there, and it takes you to a government website where, if you accept the terms at the bottom of the page, all that you have to do is to put in the postcode, do a search, and I've put in the wrong postcode, so let's try that again. We'll just go back. It was L9, and I think it was 2BS, wasn't it? Yep, that's the one. And it isn't listed, so this particular property does need an energy performance certificate. Now, when you're selling a property or renting a property nowadays, you have to have a energy performance certificate in place. So if this property is being rented at the moment, then it's being done so illegally if it's being advertised. So we're going to click here that an EPC is required. Okay, and that changes the price accordingly. Now, most places charge, including VAT, around about £90 for one of these certificates to be drawn up, and the certificate lasts at the moment for up to 10 years. That may change, but at the moment it's for 10 years. Now, moving on, how do we calculate these costs here? Well, it's pretty straightforward. All we do is click in this box to adjust anything that you're interested in adjusting, and we look at the things that different organisations charge. So with an auction, you'll find most auction houses have a minimum commission rate, and in this particular case it's £1,500 for the nearest auction to the area that this property's in. I'm sorry, I can't get my words out this morning, but we'll carry on regardless. They also have a minimum commission rate of 2%. So basically, it's whichever is the highest. So based on a sale price of £130,000, the minimum commission on that property would be £2,600. With an estate agent, they have a minimum commission locally of £1,000, and a commission rate of 1.5%, so it's the greater of the two. So in this particular case, it's calculated at 1,950. With Purple Bricks, they don't have a commission structure. I'll go on to that in a minute. And with ourselves, we don't have a commission structure for advertising and selling a property. With an auction, now this figure here is a minimum. Now, it could be more than that. It depends on how much advertising space you're purchasing within the auctioneer's catalogue. Now, what happens is, at the moment, in this day and age, obviously people put things on the internet, but the auction houses still print an auctioneer's catalogue, and they have a minimum fee structure. And in this particular auction that we've made inquiries with, it's £250 minimum. With an estate agent, say your house was owned by, I don't know, someone who doesn't want to get involved, say Wayne Rooney was selling his house, nice big house, but he doesn't want to get involved, and he'd like it in a nice big glossy catalogue before it gets auctioned or sold through an estate agent. Well, they give him a minimum figure to get in their catalogue. With Purple Bricks, they have a listing price currently at £849 plus VAT, regardless of whether the property sells or not, but that's all you pay. However, there is a catch all to this. Now, this may change, but at this moment in time when I'm producing this video, if you took out short-term finance to pay their fee, so you paid it in instalments, then they also have an obligation where you purchase their legal services and use them. If you don't use them, you still pay anyway, and the fee is £299 plus VAT, which is marked here. With us, same again, we don't do that. Now, the same fee structure that applies to Purple Bricks also applies to, I think it's Yopa and people like that, but you need to make your own inquiries. But whatever it is, you can put that figure in there. Because an energy performance certificate is required, each one of us is listed with a £75 fee. Once you add VAT, that goes up to £90. And then there's a final conveyance by a solicitor. With an auction, it's estimated at £300. With an estate agent, £300. With Purple Bricks, nothing, because if you pay the £299, you've also got it included within their service. And with Scruffy Properties, we don't charge any final solicitor conveyance. Now, there's a proviso to all of this, and that is providing that the sale of your property is a straightforward purchase. If we go and do a search on a property and find that you're in dispute with next door over who has the driveway, then that isn't a straightforward conveyance, and when things get complicated, there'll be a fee involved. And if it's anything above the standing fees that the solicitors charge, then obviously we come back and say, look, we weren't anticipating that, you didn't tell us about it, and we're just going to pass that cost on to you. We think that's fair, and so do most of our clients that we deal with. So that's how these figures were arrived at. So anything in yellow here you can change. So if they have a commission rate at the auction that you're thinking of and it's 4%, you could just change that, and straight away it recalculates it for you. But the one we're dealing with is just 2% plus VAT. So happy with that. We untick that box and it hides all of that stuff. So if you can see here, just the cost of the energy performance certificate, which is £90, it would be the cost through us. Purple Bricks 1468, an estate agent 3570, and an auction 4170. And that's it for this section, which was section 5. Now the next section we're going to cover is this one, and it's the cost of delays. Now this is the biggest shock that anyone selling their house comes across. They usually aren't anticipating it, and if things go wrong in a sales process or a deal falls through, it's excruciatingly expensive. And if you know that this may arise, at least you are warned about it and you can make provision about it, and we cover that in our next video. So we'll see you then.